Stop pulling my ears, stop pulling my ears. Never pull a bunny's ear.
These are the top 5 most insane Zootopia 2 theories that I have found scattered throughout the entire internet, and I want to share them with you and see what you think about each of them. The first one is that the real villain is the person or the animal in the cape, and that is actually a primate, or possibly the missing link between apes and humans. It's already assumed that it is not Gary the snake because it's very obvious that he's not the actual villain of the movie, but instead this hooded figure could very well be one of the primapes that has just never been seen in Zootopia and could actually be that evolutionary link between them and humans.
Snakes aren't the bad guys. I have to set things right. And when I do, my family will finally be able to come home.
The second most craziest theory that I've seen on the internet is that Zootopia is actually Disney World from the past. This comes from the idea that the whole world, or Zootopia, actually did have humans in it at one stage, but they died out, became extinct, and then eventually the animals became sentient instead. But where Zootopia is used to be Disney World, because there is in a section of the new trailer, you can see a thing called Ariel's Grotto. That is an actual place in Disney World, Florida. And so some people have now started to think that perhaps this is actually Disney World that the animals redid to become Zootopia.
Happy anniversary.
The third most popular theory is that this movie is actually a setup, or is dropping hints to Judy and Nick actually having a family and perhaps a child in the Zootopia 3 movie, which we assume will eventually come out. A lot of people think they're hinting at this because of the clothes that they are both wearing when they're doing their undercover scene, where Nick has Foxy Dad on it and Judy is dressed up kind of like a mum. The fact that they're in partners in crisis meetings already, and again kind of that double entendre of like being partners.
Hops and Wild.
Wild and Hops. The dream team.
But mostly this is just big from the fans of the show shipping these two characters together and wanting to know how it would all work out, whether it would be with adoption for a little kid or possibly like a B-Stars route where they end up having like a mixed breed kind of kid, and then that's a whole other kettle of worms for Zootopia 3 to deal with. The next 2 insane theories are about the reptiles and the snakes and how that all links in.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
But if you do enjoy just like absolutely crazy and ridiculous theories, please let me know some of your other ones that you have for Zootopia 2 in that comment section down below, and what you also think of these crazy ones. So the next one is that Zootopia was actually built on the snakes' like natural habitat and land, but they destroyed it with modern technology, and so the snakes just weren't able to live there anymore. And that's why Gary the snake is so focused on the snakes not being the bad guys and wanting his specific family, not reptiles, to be able to come home if he gets that book, and then can expose the history of Zootopia.
I have to set things right. And when I do, my family will finally be able to come home.
And the very last insane theory is linked to this slightly, and it's the idea that there were drug experiments that made the reptiles sapient. Because the first movie made a really, really big point of saying that mammals were the only ones that became sapient, that they were the only ones that, you know, stood on 2 legs and were anthropomorphic and all that kind of thing. They very specifically did not mention reptiles or primates, they said just mammals.
Okay, there are mammals from all over the globe in Zootopia. Large and small, fast and slow.
So perhaps in that book on the history of Zootopia, it talks about how maybe some of these mammals, as they were evolving, decided to experiment on other species like reptiles to see if they could also evolve too. So perhaps the history there shows how they came to the land of where Zootopia is, where it was a habitat for reptiles, how they experimented on them, made them become sapient, but then decided, oh, maybe this is a bad idea because a lot of them are venomous. Let's just shut them out, shut them down, hide them away, and we'll stop our experiments on them.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
And maybe that's why they're considered maybe not as sapient than maybe as mammals, or why it was like just so closed off.
Reptiles ain't that different.
But like I said, those are the 5 most ridiculous, insane, interesting theories that I could find across the internet about Zootopia 2. I'm really curious what your thoughts and feelings are about these. Let me know in that comment section down below. But also, are you excited for Zootopia 2 coming out? I will also be doing a review for it, and any theories that may come out once we finally see the entire movie as well. So don't forget to hit all those buttons down below, and I'll see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!